This week on NSU TV News, we look back at the spring semester. We're past midterms, heading towards spring break, and a lot has happened to this point.
That's right, Michonne. On this newscast, we meet recipients of the Distinguished Communicator Awards, look back on Mardi Gras, and speak with representatives from NSU's Hospitality Management and Tourism Department.
That's right, Naidu. All that and more in this edition of NSU TV News.
Great idea. But it was up in former mayors. It was actually new.
Welcome to the NSU TV newscast. Naidu, what's been going on around campus?
Michonne, it has been a busy semester, and here at NSU TV, we've covered many of the major stories. We started a look back of the semester with the groundbreaking ceremony for a lost hall. Jordan Johnson was on location digging into the story.
1, 2, 3.
Shovels broke ground at NSU today as demons gather to usher in a new era.
We are at the groundbreaking of the Robert Alost Hall, and so Dr. Alost is the former president of the university, and so we are getting ready to start the actual construction on this project.
Alost was the NSU's 16th president, serving from 1986 to 1996. Under his leadership, the university fortune transformed from nearly closing to a thriving university.
We're looking at this campus and saying, we need to close it or we need to transform it into a prison. But we selected a new president, Bobby Alost.
Showing the importance of the day, in attendance and speaking was Governor John Bell Edwards.
Students who are not even on this campus yet, students who are not even born yet, they're going to benefit from this investment. And so in a very real way, this groundbreaking is a testament to the work that we have all done collectively.
While this is a great day of celebration, the future building will provide great service to future generations of demons. Due to the age of the current academic building, Kaiser Hall, administrations recognize the need for something new.
So if you've been in Kaiser Hall, you know that it's time for a new academic building, and so we want to be able to house our nursing department that's here in Natchitoches all in one area, have skills labs on display. People can come in, it'll be glass fronted. You can actually walk down the hall and watch a class going on in those sim labs.
Reporting on a historical moment, I'm Jordan Johnson.
The extra classroom space and innovations coming from Alost Hall will be a welcome addition to campus. Next, we meet a group of distinguished communicators. Recently, the Department of New Media, Journalism, and Communication Arts honored 9 alumni who have reached the top of the multimedia industry. Included in that group were Pulitzer Prize winners, Hall of Fame writers, and distinguished authors.
I would say that when you get here, to be sure that journalism and communications is what you want to do and work hard. There's nothing that can take the place of hard work and having a passion for what you want to do.
March is Women's Month. NSU held several events celebrating, teaching, and highlighting women's achievements. Reporter Mariah Cador, along with videographer Jay Jones, attended the Women's Day luncheon.
You were told that your hair wasn't the right texture. You were told that the different features on your...
The powerful words of Jessica Lundy kicked off the second annual Women's Leadership Luncheon. NSU students from all majors gathered in the Lucille Hendrick Room. The main goal of this event was to strengthen and empower female student leaders. Mason Wilbanks, freshman psychology major, shared her motivation for attending this event.
But I was also intrigued to listen to a life coach because I just enjoy learning more things about life and how I can go about life in a more positive way, and to help learn, impact others through what I do and the platform that I have here on campus.
While speaking, Lundy shared a quote from multimedia superstar and inspirational leader Oprah Winfrey.
You are responsible for your life. You can't keep blaming somebody else for your dysfunction. Life is really about moving on.
Gaining more knowledge and leadership, I'm Mariah Cador with NSU TV.
We've had a lot going on this semester.
We have. It's great to see NSU celebrating culture, constructing a building, and moving forward.
Life at NSU is always exciting, and we still have more. After this break, we look back on some of Central Louisiana's Mardi Gras parades.
Whether it's in the trailer, behind the camera, or on the air, NSU has a place for you. Learn the ins and outs of an ESPN broadcast while getting a full-fledged education in sports media or broadcast journalism. Northwestern State University, New Media, Journalism, and Communication Arts. Learn more at nsula.edu/newmedia.
We're a few weeks past Mardi Gras at this point, and Central Louisiana knows how to celebrate the season.
And NSU TV had to be out in the streets during the season covering the action.
We started out at the Clucheville Parade.
With the sounds of the Clucheville Fire Department, the 2023 Mardi Gras Parade is underway. Small town, big parade brought smiles and family fun.
And everybody together. As you can see, it's a good come together. I enjoyed all the floats, the dance lines, and of course, you know, our mayor, Natchitoches mayor, seeing everybody come together and try to make a really good event today.
Leaving the gloomy, cold, cloudy day, could watch the joy and happiness away from the kids here at the 2023 Mardi Gras Parade in Clucheville.
Really, really great this year. I mean, it was a big turnout considering, you know, everybody's been through the last couple of years with COVID. Kids really had a great time. I had a good time. Plenty of, you know, prizes and things to catch.
With everyone catching beads and having fun, now it's time for me to have fun. Reporting for NSU TV News, I am Davion Telsey.
Mardi Gras is always a good time. I'm glad NSU TV were out there covering the action.
We still have more news to bring you after the break. We'll have our news director, Jordan Johnson, in studio to interview representatives of the Hospitality, Management, and Tourism Department.
And Naidu, you're going to share with us about the Latino Living podcast?
Thanks for asking me, Sean. Yes, I'll have some info to share about the podcast. We have all that coming up next.
3, 2, 1, and we're back.
I can't wait to be on ESPN.
That's when you put a little pressure on here. Come in.
I'm filming for ESPN Plus.
I work with sports information.
We're working the instant replay cameras for NSU Athletics.
Biggest tailgate of the game. Just to be right here on the field, getting all the action, it feels good.
I love doing it because this is something I want to go in as a career.
10 out of 10. This is literally my dream since I've been a freshman in high school. I'm now a freshman in college, and I get to call live college football games on air. It's amazing. This is my dream.
Welcome back. Naidu, I hear the Hispanic Student Journalists Association have been producing podcasts covering issues facing Hispanic students here at NSU. I also hear the host is our very own Naidu Dazamaya.
Thanks, Ms. Sean. I have been hosting a podcast titled Latino Living with the help of producer Leah Portillo Cantarero and technical director Laura Gabarcas Vargas. We're putting out a bilingual podcast covering topics of interest to NSU students.
Where can we find the podcast?
Just type Latino Living into the search bars of Spotify and YouTube.
What's cool about the podcast is that it's both audio and video, so we get to see the conversation happening in the studio. Let's watch a few minutes of the most recent podcast.
And after the podcast, we'll have NSU TV News Director Jordan Johnson in a studio interviewing members of NSU's HMT major.
3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Latino Living.
Is it recording right?
A podcast about the life of Latinos in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Este podcast es parte de HSJA and NSU. During each episode, we will share with you una historia about Hispanic living in this corner of Louisiana. I am Naiduda Samaya, your host.
And I'm Leah Portillo, your producer.
And this is Latino Living, un podcast para todos.
3, 2, 1.
Hola a todos, estamos en el podcast estudio de NSU. Hoy tenemos una invitada especial, pero primero digamos hola a nuestro director técnico, Laura Cabarcas.
Hola.
Ok, nuestra invitada especial es Alessa Coneo.
Hola a todos.
Alessa Coneo es de Colombia y es una estudiante internacional que recientemente se transfirió. Alessa, ¿nos puedes contar sobre ti?
Of course. I'm Alessa Conillo. I'm a makeup artist and also a social media creator.
Alessa is a transfer student from Colombia, but you might recognize her from your phone, where you can see her on social media. Alessa started posting the videos in 2014 when she was still in high school.
Yes, sure. Well, I started to do makeup tutorials since 2014. I was like lonely. I started to watch some YouTube tutorials, like makeup tutorials, and I really enjoyed it, so I started to do the makeups.
I'm here with two students of the HMT department, Mr. Nicholas Pearson and Olivia Habits. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you for having us.
So can you tell me what is all there to do in the HMT department and how does it benefit you?
I'm going to tell you about this semester because we did so much this whole entire year, but this semester we hosted Columns Cafe, we hosted the FCCLA State Conference, which is from high school students. We are doing a daddy-daughter dance coming up, and we're also doing a chef's table coming up, and we also went to Toledo Bend for a field trip at some of the resorts over there. And these opportunities just really help us experience real-life situations when we wouldn't otherwise get it. So I think it helps us in our future careers and just everyday experience.
All right. I heard y'all was starting a new club here on campus, a new RSO for HMT majors and minors. Some is called HMT ambassadors.
Correct. So we're the HMT ambassadors. I'm the president of the organization. Olivia is the events coordinator. We basically put on events for our HMT department, and we're also big on the recruiting. We do a recruiting event. Last semester we went to Baton Rouge and did a recruiting event there. And it's basically just to get more people involved in HMT and then getting people involved in Northwestern as well.
All right, so what is the main goal of the HMT ambassadors?
The main goal is recruitment. Not a lot of people know we're here or what we do. So our main goal is to just bring people in, let them know we're here, and let them know what we do. This includes high school students and students on campus as well.
I visited the HMT event Columns Cafe. For this event, students cook, serve, and host a multi-course meal for the community. Here's the story.
Welcome to Columns Cafe!
The NSU's Hospitality, Management, and Tourism Department held the semester's third Columns Cafe.
The Columns Cafe is a event that we put on once a month here at the Hospitality Management and Tourism Department. It's a 6 to 7 course meal for fine dining, something you won't get around Natchitoches, and it's a one in a lifetime opportunity.
Columns Cafe is a student-led event where the HMT students develop the menu, cook the food, and serve guests throughout the night. Tonight, the HMT department decided to gamble on the theme of a casino night.
This Columns Cafe is a Casino Royale, where it's off of the James Bond movie, so we're going to have casino poker tables and all that here.
Guests felt like high rollers as they left the event.
I loved it. I liked the different people at the table. I got to meet new people. I thought the menu was excellently planned and a new taste to every plate. You know, the food was just great. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good experience. That I like coming and sitting with people I don't know beforehand, and we just chat and have a good time and get to know them.
I loved watching all of the wait staff and the going on in the kitchen and how they handled themselves. They were absolutely professionals. I couldn't believe they were students. They were wonderful.
Reporting with a hot hand and ready to lay my chips down, I'm Jordan Johnson from NSU TV.
Well, from groundbreakings to podcasts, NSU TV has been busy covering stories this semester.
We look back on some important events in this newscast, and NSU TV News Service is already busy producing news stories for our next newscast.
As we leave the broadcast, we hear from NSU students about the women who have inspired them.
My inspiration is my history teacher from junior year. She is a really strong woman. She is an activist in Austin, in Texas, for women's rights, and she still does it to this day. And she's just a really good teacher.
The woman that inspires me the most is definitely my best friend. Mackenzie is just the most radiant and supportive person I've ever met in my entire life. If I ever need someone or something, she's there with it, and she's just the best thing in the world.
Carlin McCord really inspires me because she made so much prolific work as a sports journalist, and she was also Miss LOB. So she really is just a good woman to look up to, and she was so successful.
A poet that inspired me growing up was Elizabeth Acevedo. She's a Dominican American poet who wrote a book called The Poet X in Spanish and English. So that was the first time that in literature I saw my Hispanic culture, or just the language, be appreciated and be mixed in this way that it's both English and Spanish and like conversational. So because of her, I've been inspired to write both in English and Spanish within one text or things like that. So yeah.
For NSU TV, I am Naidu Dasamaya.
And I'm Shannon Lacey.
And as always, work and demons.